So the recorder is going. So we are being recorded. So let's start. Did you see anything that needed to be adjusted on the minutes, Jeff?
No. When I looked at them, they appeared to accurately reflect what went on.
Okay. Then we'll continue on then since they look good. They were done by Beth. Thank you, Beth, even if you can't hear us at the moment. Let's continue on to, do we need to add anything to the agenda that I sent out on Friday?
Just what we talked about yesterday, Dan, contact info.
Okay.
For the problems with the courier that we talked about.
Okay.
The contact.
I've added that when we work through the revised courier procedures and rules. We'll talk about that and do that then. So let's continue on looking through. I had some questions that popped up after we had done the last go around back in late June. Mm-hmm. And one of them, do we need to include anything about what to do with dirty or damaged bags and include that in this?
I don't know, because everybody translates that differently, and we don't want them dumping bags before they need to be.
And what I'm thinking, though, is do we send them to, since she's not on to defend herself at the moment, Beth, and she can make that determination, or I don't know.
Is Beth going to be at EOU to actually send things out again? I mean, like if someone needs boxes or bags, are you doing that, Jeff, or is Beth going to continue doing that?
All of the extra materials are here, and so if people are contacting Beth, she forwards the email to me, so then I take care of it.
Should we put you as contact for supplies?
Beth, are you back?
Okay. It says the organizer has dismissed you from this meeting.
Oh,
I can still hear you.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, but the computer's not there.
Oh, okay, because I'm on the computer.
Okay, so I
can hear you, but I see
Beth
is
on the phone, but my let's see if I can get myself back on.
Okay, because Beth is on, it says, but she was having some audio problems earlier.
Yeah, so let's see. I will get myself try to get myself back on here.
Okay. Beth, are you going to be chatting today, or are you going to be talking?
Oh, Beth says I am back. Mobile hotspot on my phone got interrupted.
Yeah. That's
there we go. I look like I'm back on now.
Okay, Beth is online via chat, she says. Do you have access to chat so you can see what's going on there, Jeff?
Yes, I can see where she's entered something
okay.
that she can access via chat, yeah.
Okay. Beth, since you're there, we're going to ask a question. We had a question of what to do with, what to do with dirty, okay. What to do with dirty or damaged bags, and whether we should send them to a central location to either be cleaned or determine that they're beyond repair, or to have them repaired. It was suggested.
I do have a couple here that are cut.
It was suggested that maybe we send them to you, or possibly to Jeff. What do you think about that? Which way do you think we should go? while she's typing, maybe, or thinking and typing.
Do you have to type it to her, or can she
Oh,
hear
here we
you?
go.
Audio was cutting in and out. What are we needing cleaned?
We're talking about the bags and whether if they're damaged or if they're dirty and what we should do with them. And whether we should send them to you in care of the college. And if you're there, great. If not, Jeff can intercept them. And we're looking for some input. I can tell this is going to be an interesting meeting.
Exactly.
While we're doing that, I was thinking, okay, that's what we'll do is she says that they can be sent to her in care of the college, and then they can be assessed.
We can assess.
Yeah.
Assess. So that would be, yeah, you and Beth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, how about the distribution of supplies? Should those requests go directly to Jeff?
Or should they be sent to Beth and then forwarded on to...
But if she's there, isn't that just kind of like a extra step? Or does Jeff, do you not have time to have to work with that every time there's a request?
Well, I'm dealing with them whether they're being sent directly to me or whether they're being sent to Beth, because she then forwards them on to me. So
we might as well send them directly to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Request for bags and boxes and padded envelopes and labels.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only question I would have with that, does Beth need to be kept in the loop?
Well, I would be definitely letting her know the status of our supplies. Like we are down to 6 packages of the book labels right now, and I have a couple of requests for them that are going to be going out, so I'll be down to 4.
Okay.
But I think I've already talked with Beth about our status on those, so hopefully some have been ordered.
Sage Courier bags can be requested on the listserv. Others can be sent to Jeff.
Right. Yeah, because the bags, anyone who has extras on the system should have the opportunity to
request
provide
from another location or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Beth has put there is very very good. I mean, we do tend to have a fair stash of them here, but I would not want to take the opportunity for people to share their largesse with others from them.
Yeah. Okay. I think, I've been thinking about, we talked about those broken picture links. I think what I may do, we've got a cheapo camera here that I can jerry-rig some pictures and just plug them in. And I think what I'll do that, unless you've got some there already.
No. I haven't pulled out my my cell phone to take pictures of the bags as they should be. Maybe that'd be a good thing. Like, take pictures of, don't do this, please.
Yeah.
Or do this, please.
The other question I have with this is, are we going to need some sort of, I don't remember anything reading through it that had to do with damaged stuff that's damaged in transit and what the protocol is for that. Do we need one?
Well, we need to address that on that other list of rules that you sent us.
Yeah, that was something that I I was doing some looking on the Sage website, and I found this draft Courier, or this draft circulation document, and I talked with Heidi over in Hermiston, since she's on the circulation committee, and she was telling me that they had reviewed it, but she didn't remember whether it had actually ever been sent to the council for their approval. I did go back and I looked through some, that time frame forward, and I didn't see anything about the circulation committee having sent it, and most of what I saw was the circulation committee was inactive.
So what it said within the document is that items damaged in transit will be dealt with on an individual basis between the libraries involved. Libraries are encouraged to refer to the Sage Courier Committee with regards to items so damaged. I think we need to know if there's excessive continual damage, but I don't think we need to know every time something is damaged. And I think it's really hard to prove whether it was damaged, sent out damaged, without the library really being aware of it, which does happen. If it was damaged in transit, or the patron that borrowed it damaged it, or it was damaged in transit on the way back. So that's really a complicated thing, and I think maybe...
And because the circulation committee is just getting going again, the date on it was the draft dates, if you look through, weren't they 2013?
Yes.
And so, it's been 3 years, and there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. Beth, do you sit on the circulation committee, or do you participate in their meetings? And I think if they bring this back up, and if we've got somebody who can be involved with that discussion, just to see what they're thinking as far as what our role, are we supposed to be just notified? Is it, just to keep an eye to see if there's a pattern developing?
Yeah, I think that is one element to keep in mind. I think there are occasions where, in the past, with the Summit Courier, an item has been delivered to us, and it was obviously damaged in transit, primarily by, like if they had a truck that didn't seal up adequately, and there's water damage that you could see the bag was really wet and the items inside were wet. Then then you would go to the Courier problem form on the Orbis Cascade website and file a claim or a damage report or whatever it's called with them. So in the cases where it can be pretty strongly established that the issue was and this is the Orbis Cascade Courier specific, because we don't have a mechanism for some of our others. But if it's an Orbis Cascade Courier issue, we do have that avenue.
Is Orbis Cascade insured for damages?
I
mean, is that...
I think if it can be established that an item was damaged through some issue on their part, they will reimburse.
Okay.
I haven't gone through all the steps on that, so I can't speak with full authority on it. But I know that at the very least there is a place to fill out
and if Jeff gets them with tire marks across the front of the bag, that's a pretty good indication, probably. let's see here.
You know, that has happened.
Yeah.
Beth says here.
That's when Dan's driving.
No.
No.
Let's see here. Beth says that the Courier Committee or the Circulation Committee is looking at these policies right now. She says, I think we could clarify things better as to when the Courier Committee needs to be involved. Is that something you can watch and make note of for us, Beth? And if we need to, or ask to have some input on their part, you know, to put some balance into that, you know, because on one hand, if something's damaged en route, there's probably nothing that we can do. But on the other hand, if we've got a series of stuff that's damaged en route and we see a pattern developing, then maybe we need to step in.
There's also that for consideration, the latest example, when someone does not properly wrap something.
Yeah.
And they toss it in a box or whatever.
Yeah.
Without any protection, then that's obviously library to library concern, not Courier Committee, not anybody outside, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. So we'll see what she has here.
Yeah, that's similar to, you know, when TVCC was sending materials all jumbled together in a bag.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't like a damage issue per se, but we were that was something that we needed to come to our attention. So it'd be similar. I think it would be. I
think some of that will be automatically corrected when we post these new rules and regulations.
Assuming people read them.
Assuming people read them.
That's a nice thought.
Absolutely necessary for new trainees. In fact, I was going through them just now, and because I didn't do my homework, and right off the bat, we do need to give the definition of drop site is the label with the number on it, but it has to have a destination name on that same label. That's what we have to emphasize for those mixed bags. Because we say in there that if it's to a single destination, more items can go into a bag. But I think they're confusing drop site with destination.
Okay, we can clarify that.
Yeah, I think that's just a little thing that once it's clarified, I think we'll see a change in.
Okay.
Light bulb.
In mixed bags.
We just lost Beth again. So, okay, I'll work on that and get that added to it.
Yeah, I was going to add that message, though, about I can watch and see how Courier Committee would interact.
Yeah. Let's go down here. Oh, let's see. Which way am I supposed to go? I'm looking at my chatting here, and I'm a little confused how I'm working it. Okay, I got that one.
I chatted in there, and I don't know why, but I did.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Beth. Okay. If you're still there, Beth, and you haven't been lost in a valley someplace, what is the status of this Sage Circ listserv and transferring or adding Courier folks to that?
Say that again, Dan. I didn't understand it.
Okay, we talked a couple months ago, or closer to the beginning of the year. We talked about using the Sage Circ listserv because they were inactive at the time, and so we had started the process of getting the ILD people on there and using it for Courier stuff. And we were missing some email addresses, and I'm not sure.
He says Sage Circ listserv is ready to go. On announcement to folks on regular listserv, can I share our Courier procedures draft?
we've got a couple things that we want to add while you were lost in space there. We're going to add some definitions. One of them is what the definition of a drop site is. That's the number on the label. And for, for Pendleton, the drop site's 74, but the destination is Pendleton. And so...
No. The drop site's 74, but the destination is each individual library.
Yeah, I'm talking Pendleton Public Library.
Okay, sorry, Dan.
I could have said Athena, and that would have been...
I thought you knew the difference.
Yeah, no. And I was thinking Pendleton Public Library.
Okay.
So but yeah, what I will do, I'm on vacation next week, and so I don't know how much of this I'll get done before I get back, but I'll send it to the rest of the Courier committee just for a quick perusal, and then we'll let Beth post it on the listserv, and then also with information about using the listserv for Courier stuff as well as circulation stuff.
Well, Courier stuff is circulation if you want to get technical.
Well, yeah, in a broad sort of way. Well, Beth says she can send out a message without a draft. Yeah, we can do that. And why don't you do that, Beth? And
putting the draft out there might give us input from people that actually look at it, read it, and find something unclear. For example,
well, I think we should send out a draft before we send it to the Sage Council, because the more eyes that look at it can help us refine, like adding definitions, or if we've got some stuff that's a little ambiguous and that we need to clean up and make it a little less ambiguous.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial that the people who it's designed for have a chance to have some input on it, because, well, it's for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I agree with you. And I think that's a good idea.
To take a look at it, because I just going through this just now, I just saw something that maybe we need to tend to.
Okay.
On it. Well, I'll just mention what it is, and you guys can think about it, and then it may not be an issue, because it says for packaging guidelines for Orbis Cascade, you can use boxes, maximum weight 35 pounds. What I don't know is if that box is delivered to IMESD to come to my library, if they will deliver a 35-pound box. Because in the past, we've had kind of a habit of maybe sending a box of books we're getting rid of to another library, and IMESD has done it as long as it's within our county, but sometimes they get kind of sticklers about that. So how do we make sure that a 35-pound box coming from another library will be delivered through IMESD to us? That's my question.
Yeah, send me that question in written form, and I'll ask Fred.
Okay.
Yeah, because the 35 pounds is...
that's usually pretty standard across OSHA requirements type stuff.
Yeah, it does.
And that is written into the Orbis Cascade Courier agreement.
Right, but is it written into our local couriers agreements? That's my question.
That I do not know.
Yeah.
So, okay, Dan, you can ask Fred.
I'll ask Fred. Yeah.
No, they only wanted to go 30.
He might.
Sure, it wasn't 15 kilos.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, let's see here. Beth says, I will send a message regarding CERC listserv after our meeting. Thank you, Beth. Moving along, since what did happen with the inquiry from Harney County?
Have we heard anything since?
Well, not from Harney County.
Or did she just give up?
Well, Beth was going to write a response.
Ah.
and do that.
Is that the one that wants really particular?
Yeah, that's the one with the bubble wrap and
Yeah.
inside the box, inside the envelope, and
We talked about this as minimum standards is what the committee is doing, yes.
So while she's typing there, let's move into
new business.
New business. I think we talked about the first one as part of the old business there, so let's move on. We had a series of, I'll call them incidences. Oh wait, what did Beth say here? Just a sec. I was supposed to draft a response for the committee to look at. I did not send a message to Claire and I have heard nothing since. Okay. Can you get us a response? I think that we probably owe her that. Even if we tell her that, we're looking at minimum standards and whatnot. We had end of July, we had a series of mixed bags, like Jeff was just talking about, where we had several libraries in one envelope, and on the label it said mixed. And ESD here in town called me at least twice, and I was up there one day and they showed it to me, that
they were pretty interesting.
Were you getting them too?
Oh yeah. TVCC was sending items that were labeled mixed, and we'd open it up and they were
mixed.
They were unpackaged mixed items.
Something for Olawa, something for Olawa County, something for whoever else.
Yeah. And obviously we know what needed to happen. Those items needed to be packaged individually.
Yeah.
And then they could have been inside the mixed bag. Yeah, but.
So, Beth.
But they still shouldn't be inside a mixed bag, should they?
They can be.
The ESD won't open. They said they don't, if it's mixed, let me think about that. It's not their job to repackage, so to take things out of a package and put it into a box. It should all be separate so that all they do is pick up one thing to put in a box. We don't want anything to say mixed on it, even if it's...
I've found it, having been the courier driver, I have gotten big bags with mixed on the side. You open it up, and there's 3 or 4 additional bags within there that are separated out, to whomever they're supposed to go, be it, Athena, Adams, Ukiah.
So why'd they put it in a large bag? That's what happens to some of the green bags when they do that.
That's what that was my thought too, is
ESD ends up with those big bags sitting in a corner in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And so I have our courier trained to bring me some occasionally when he gets a stack of them. But we don't want that happening. We don't want anything to say mixed.
Yeah.
They should all be separate.
And
don't you think? Am I wrong?
No, I agree with you, because just from a practical standpoint, if we're running short of bags, it seems a waste to use a bag to ship bags in instead of just shipping each, individual library a bag. Why use one bag for 3 additional bags? Especially and this was at least one of those times was when we were running short. So what I did, there was one day I got 6 or 8, and so I just put them blank, and everybody, got some. The regular stuff, they got an extra bag or 2.
Every item has a destination on it. There should not be anything marked mixed.
I agree.
So I think we need to really stressed that in our rules.
Yeah.
No mixed. No bags marked mixed.
Yeah.
It's totally unnecessary.
Yeah, so if it's going to the dowels, it's going to the dowels, and they don't need to put the dowels in, and whoever else goes to the dowels in theirs.
Right. Because when I send the EOU, whether it's going to Union or what's that place out of Union, those are
North Powder.
What is it? Island
North
City.
Powder.
Island City?
Everything has its own bag, and I would never put all of those into one bag just because it goes to the same drop site.
Yeah.
So I just think we need to enforce that.
I agree with you. You know, just for efficiency in use of bags, that's, you know, would be the way to go. And just, you know, again, from a time sorter's point of view, is that it takes time to open up and then sort those out to wherever they're going.
Right. So we'll be sure that's in the rules and policies.
Yeah. Let's see here. Beth just wrote something else here. Oh, she wants to know if the TVC issues have stopped. I have not heard anything here recently.
Yeah, neither have I. And I think my student would have brought it to my attention if it was continuing to occur.
Yeah, and
now
she goes,
on another, you know, in relation to this, if there are occasions where a library, in order to get items sent out, all they have is boxes, you know, like they,
yeah,
you know, instead of having like totes to utilize. There, this is kind of like the devil's advocate kind of thing. I can see occasions where sending a box with a label on it that has destination mixed, and inside the box there are the items. I can see that, and I think that's generally where that was originally intended, was for when, or I don't know about intentions, but that's normally how I've seen it utilized.
So let me ask a question, make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. So if you're okay with a box coming to EOU, if the originating destination didn't have bags, if they were for Wallowa County, LeGrand, and Enterprise.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the bags. I'm talking about if they don't have a shipping tote. You know, like the
okay, I see what you're saying.
Like the U.S. mail tote.
Okay, the whitest and orange crates.
Right. Yeah, the white orange crates. Yeah. You know, I can see that on occasion like that, because you wouldn't necessarily want the, you know, them sending a box. You know, I'd like it, you know, the box to be closed.
Okay.
If they're sending us.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Let me see if let me say it back to you and see if I understand. You're saying it's okay to use a box as a carrier. To use.
It's not optimal, but
well, I know, but if there are no,
you have,
because I have sent stuff out of when I've couried. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
I have sent stuff out in boxes because we don't have either the white or the orange totes, and it was just recycling what had gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been out of necessity and convenience, as opposed to it's been necessity as opposed to convenience.
Has Pendleton Public ever run out of the totes when they're sending their crates out?
They don't. The totes we use are like the totes that the post office uses. You know, they're about 18 inches long, about 10 or 12 inches wide, and about the same depth. And what we do is we put the green bags in those, and then they're shipped off to Senvoy and to Orbis Cascade for sorting and redistribution. And so the only, you guys, the libraries don't see those as a general rule. It's only the drop sites to see the orange or white containers.
Right, because if I have too much to fit into my crate rather than a tote, a crate, they take it anyway. So I see what you mean in a way, Jeff, but I don't know how often that happens, that the main stations don't have something to send it out in rather than the specific libraries. I think it should just be the...
Yeah, that's what I... You know,
is that what you say, drop site to drop site?
If TVCC doesn't happen to have a tote available,
use a box.
Of course, maybe I shouldn't use TVCC as an example because
Okay, well, yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that, if it's happening or if it even needs to be addressed, because most people have figured out a different way to do it.
Yeah, but no, I think in general, if items are packaged individually and have their the correct drop site and destination labeled correctly, there's not a need for things to be put into a larger bag. At least for the, I don't know if they need to be put into a bag if they're all going to different areas, because that means, if it says mixed, we have to unzip it, pull them out, and then sort them on their merry way.
Yeah, and that happened to Pendleton. They got dumped on big time. I think it was early August, and I think I sent you that email that I got from Katie. And she had gotten a whole bunch of stuff that part of it didn't even belong to her. And so she was really frustrated, and I think I've included in the emails that I sent out that was she was a grumpy camper that day, and and so
now, was that a case where she received a large bag that was labeled Pendleton Public, and inside it were items that were not only Pendleton Public, or was it a bag? Because I'm trying to think if she would they have sent a bag that just said mixed on it? Would they have just forwarded it onto her?
I think she got a bag that just said mixed on it one time, and then another time she just got a whole bunch of I'm not sure if ESD just says we don't want to deal with this and dumped a bunch of stuff on her.
Here, you sort it out.
Well, one of the emails, that's what it sounded like. Is that she had, she just got a bunch of loose stuff, and it was here. You take care of it, is what it sounded like.
Right.
Yeah. Beth typed in some more, and she says if we say no more mixed bags or boxes, some of the problems would go away. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
If they don't have a tote to put those things in at the drop site, then that's between them and Senvoy or Orbis Cascade to have those available. So that individual drop site can deal with that themselves. It's not a courier problem. So if we say no more mixed bags or boxes, then they're going to have to figure out how to send those things without doing that.
Ideally, in an ideal world, you've got enough advance notice to let Senvoy know that you need more of the courier boxes that they use. So in an ideal world, if you're down to 4 and that you usually send out 3 a day, and it looks like you're going to be down to 1 before you know it, it's probably a good idea to request some more from Senvoy.
And I think they may even have on the website a request form where you
ask for more.
You ask for more totes.
Yeah, because I know that
that some of the large libraries are finding out the hard way that ILLs is more complicated than what they think. Even Erin Wells said she was there a year before she ever tried to do ILLs, and she said, oh my gosh, I never realized what it takes to do those. And so they're thinking that they can just throw someone in there and say label them and send them, and we're going to assure or try to assure that everyone knows about these rules and procedures so that training does happen. And I think that'll take care of a lot of the problems.
I hope so.
I had a call from yesterday from Helix that said they had gotten something back, damaged book, which is different. It was damaged by a patron, not by transit. So she asked me, what do we do about it? And I said, it's between you, the owning library, and them, the loaning.
The loaning library and the borrowing library.
And she said, well, it's an old book, and I just don't think I need to keep it. And I said, then discard it.
Then eat it.
Yeah, just discard it.
That's your decision.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have to find the patron that checked it out if you just see it as a disposable book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And on the other hand, if it's you receive an item back that was damaged in its use, I think that isn't it the policy that the owning library contacts the borrowing library, and then the borrowing library is responsible for reimbursement, right. And right. Then it's on them to, if they're going to contact the patron who borrowed it and get to have them pay for the damages. That's the process, rather than the patron trying to pay the owning library, they pay the borrowing library, and it's the passing of the buck, so to speak.
Yeah, and I told Darlene that, and she said, well, I think I'll just then withdraw it. Is it okay if I just withdraw it? I said, absolutely. It's up to you. You own the book, so anyway.
I got validation from Beth. That is right.
Thank you, Beth. We're running close to our hour here, even if we got a little late start. Let's move on here. We had some packing issues. We got an email again. I forwarded on that Hood River had got some stuff from the Dows, and it had looked like it had been aggressively packed, and a DVD was damaged en route.
Yes.
And I've got a note here too that says something that, did you have an issue there too, Jeff? With packing damage or packing stuff?
OTLD in LeGrand.
Who was that in LeGrand?
OTLD, Kathy,
she's
in LeGrand.
Well, Kathy's in Boardman. Maybe I put, maybe I should have said Boardman there instead of LeGrand. But we've had some packing issues recently.
Yeah, I can't recall any.
Nothing. I think that's probably supposed to be Boardman and Oregon Trail, and not LeGrand.
Oh.
So I don't have a phone to take a picture, but this LeGrand Public sent 2 DVDs loose, not even a courier bag. They were wedged between 2 courier bags. Lucky they weren't destroyed. They were surrounded by 2 very heavy bags. Well, that's the library that packed them. It's not.
Okay. So how did they get through your house, Jeff?
Well, LeGrand, we have a local person who.
I guess my question is, how did they get through your house without being in a bag?
That is interesting.
And I'm wondering something. I don't know. Maybe it's an ESD issue.
Because we have. Yeah, that's okay. So. yeah, I don't know how anything from LeGrand would come up here and then be packaged, or yeah, I mean, be transferred to a tote. Yeah, sorted. So I really don't know how. Well, let me take. No, no. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think through the logistics of it. You know, because items from LeGrand come up here and then they're sorted and sent on their merry way. So how Hood River, or who was it who received
Oregon
an
Trail,
item from
Boardman,
LeGrand?
or Boardman,
Oregon Trail,
Oregon,
Boardman.
Hefner, one of the three.
Yeah.
Beth says the email indicated that the materials had not been properly packed.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, if we see something that's not properly packed, we will take care of it. So I'm not, you know, I'm at a loss as to what occurred there.
So how do we alleviate this? How do we reduce the possibility of this happening in the future?
And you know, it's possible it was just kind of one of those little one-time things that you know a hiccup occurred and it got through like that. Because in general, if materials come through us and it's obvious that there is inadequate packaging, I mean, we're not going to open up and do a deep
You're not going to check everything.
Everything.
Yeah, you're not going to check everything that's going through. It's just not time and cost effective.
Yeah, but you know, if it's obvious, you know, because we have the materials here, you know, if there's a DVD inside a green bag and it's not, it doesn't have a DVD box, you know, and you know, we feel that.
Yeah.
Then you know, we'll go and put a box on it. So.
Yeah, and Beth says, "Whoops." She was talking about the other email, the one from Hood River. So I think that comes to the last.
The case where they used a box from the Dalles to Hood River. They did a large square box, 10 inches square, packed with heavy books, and then jammed down the side of those were the DVDs.
Yeah.
So that was
so it was a box that was it was a box that was oh, my brain just shut off. So the box was probably labeled, and you know, and we just transferred the box on.
Well, no, we're talking about two different incidents.
This is a different one.
Oh. We're talking about your incident, but the one that Carrie was just talking about was an incident that happened between the Dalles and Hood River.
About the same time.
Yeah, and we had a rush of stuff going on in July with courier issues, and we had the one coming from LeGrand to Boardman or Oregon Trail, and then we also had a separate one just before that between Hood River, or between the Dalles and Hood River, and it's the Dalles and Hood River where they'd taken a box and they'd packed it full of stuff and then put the DVDs along the side and the box, and that's what was broken.
Everything was broken. But it says, we have asked the Dalles in the past to take more care when packing. However, they tell us that the items are packed by volunteers of varying abilities. No excuse. They should all be trained to do this.
Yeah. I think that brings us to the next item on our new business, and that's just general communication. Was it you who got the email from Orbis saying don't send us green bags, Jeff?
Actually, what I saw was an email from one of our libraries sending out onto the Orbis Cascade asking for green bags.
Okay.
And then I sent her a note saying requests for green bags should go through the Sage Circ listserv rather than Orbis Cascade.
Yeah.
And then Eileen sent out, or Elizabeth, oh my,
somebody out there.
Yeah, but anyway, the Orbis Cascade person sent out a note saying, we don't deal with the green bags.
Well, I thought she said she had some too that she was going to send.
Well, yeah. Well, what happens is I don't know who they are in the SAGE system, but we have some people who in the past or even currently, when they're sending an item to like Fort Vancouver or Multnomah County Library, instead of using a manila envelope or a brown Orbis Cascade Courier bag, they are using a SAGE bag.
Yeah.
And so they're sending it outside of the SAGE system. And in the past, I have sent out emails asking that not occur, and I think that most people may have got the memo, but not necessarily everybody, or the people who had the memo didn't forward it on to their person following them. Yeah. So.
Okay, I think. Remind me. It's been a little while, a week or two since I last read our policies and rules. Do we have something in there specifically that says do not send green bags outside the SAGE system?
I do not know.
That's something that I'll have to look into.
Yeah.
And then
it's one of those things that it just seems so logical to me. It's like, keep them in-house. Oh, Beth says yes, I believe we do.
You can get from one of the funeral homes. They'll give you a form that you just fill out.
Did we lose?
Yeah.
I think someone is talking to someone in real life.
Not out virtually.
Right. Right.
Oh. Well, I'll double check on that and put about that, because I know last time we talked about sending any Orbis Cascade brown bags or gray bags or red bags or purple bags or whatever, send them to you. In
right.
In
because there may be occasions where the Summit system will send items to SAGE libraries in the wrong bag.
Yeah, I've seen those out here. Multiple color bags. Not very many of them. You know, well in excess of 98% are green bags. So anyway. Let's look here. I'm looking, since we're coming up at 1 hour, more or less. I see our next meeting should be for November the 2nd. It's a Wednesday. Beth, can you make reservations for meeting? I was going to say library to go. Meetings, go to meeting for November the 2nd at 11 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll plan to have our next meeting then, and that'll be the last one for this year. Can you believe it? And then we'll start in January again. In the interim,
sounds good.
In the interim, what was that?
This is Carrie again. I had to open the library, and so I had to respond to a patron. I missed the last part of this conversation.
Oh.
I also forgot to take a lot of notes, so my minutes might be kind of screwed up. But
well, that's all right. Lucky for you, we were recording this.
Good. Are we going to have Beth post the draft?
I think we will. There's a couple things that we've talked about. One of them is to make sure that green bags are not to leave the SAGE system.
Right.
And then throw in the definitions, and then she'll send that out to do that for us. We were just talking about communication issues. That's one thing that we need to, I think with the listserv coming on board, that we can start doing some of these communication things, reminders about proper handling, and those kind of things, proper packing, to reduce the possibility of damage en route. As much as we'd like to get to the point where we eliminate it, if we can reduce it, that would be a good thing. So
follow the golden rule. Send it as you would like to receive it.
Yeah. But we've got intermediaries, at least
county.
at least we have at least one intermediary between everybody, and sometimes there's here in our county we've got two intermediaries between here and your house. So anyway, Beth says she'll take care of
next meeting.
Go to meeting. Appreciate that. I will try to figure out this afternoon how to post this on YouTube so you can have them. I did get instructions last time, and once they're up there, I'll let you know where to find them at, Carrie.
Thank you.
So,
sorry about that.
Anyway, that's all right. It really helps. That's how Beth got them last time. So anyway, with that note, I think we started about 11:10 after we got everybody figured out how to get here. And
I think we're good.
I will see you. We'll talk to you all in November again. And in the interim, I will add a couple things to a draft and send it on to Beth so she can post them for us.
Okay, I'll have a couple grammatical errors for you to change on the rules, Dan, and then...
Okay, just email them to me and I'll get them taken care of.
I will. I know. Next week's roundup, right?
Well, I'm on vacation. I'm leaving town.
Oh, well, that's even better.
So, you know, like I said, if I don't get it done today or by Friday, it's not going to get done for 2 weeks or a week and a half anyway. So hopefully I can remember then. Anyway, thanks, Beth. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Carrie, and we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, then.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.